Jerry from Omaha, Nebraska. I follow a fellow named Rob Ager who has a YouTube channel called Collective Learning. In the spirit of Halloween, a video was posted a few weeks ago on the art of the werewolf transformation in cinema. The two movies analyzed were The Howling and An American Werewolf in London. I personally am not a fan of horror movies, but I wanted to get your take on what you believe is the greatest werewolf transformation you have ever seen in a movie. Well, An American Werewolf in London, I think, is still probably number one. The Howling is also very good, although that one is gorier. That one is gorier. It's not a bad werewolf transformation. It's very different. If you want a really good one that I guess doesn't get talked about because it's a movie about vampires and not werewolves, check out the movie Fright Night. I know you said you're not a horror movie fan, but so maybe you won't watch it. But for everybody else, first of all, it's a damn good movie. Okay, that's first and foremost. And there is a pretty disturbing scene in this movie where there is a reverse werewolf transformation. So you talk about a werewolf transformation. This was a reverse werewolf transformation. This teenage kid who gets bitten and he becomes a vampire. If you've seen the movie, you know who I'm talking about. Evil Ed. Okay. He also ends up becoming a werewolf. Don't ask me how, but he does. But what happens is, as in the scene, he's a werewolf. He gets stabbed through the chest, through the heart, by Roddy McDowall with a wooden stake. And after he is stabbed through the chest with a wooden stake, it's this long, drawn-out, disturbing sequence where the werewolf is like dragging itself along and it's moaning, and Roddy McDowall is just watching this whole thing with this just look on his face, and it's this slow, painful transformation back into his human form. And and this is back before CGI. One of the things that I loved about a lot of these horror movies and sci-fi films from the 80s and even the early 90s, The Thing and Fright Night, Terminator, Total Recall, the thing I loved was the use of practical effects. Some people think it looks more fake that way. I'm a big believer in the practical effects in those movies, making them creepier and making them scarier than most of the CGI that I see. CGI can be good. I mean, CGI can be great. Look at Jurassic Park, right? Or even Terminator 2. Both Terminators, the first two Terminators are great movies. They're just very different. T2 is known for its effects, and it was a great movie. Jurassic Park, again, CGI in that movie was especially back when it first came out, it looked unbelievable. But practical effects versus CGI, I always side with practical effects. The prosthetics, the animatronics, especially in The Thing. Like, I'm not talking about the reboot or the prequel or whatever the hell it was that they released a few years ago that I never saw. I'm talking Carpenter's version from 1982, okay? And somebody disagreed with me last week when I said that the original Halloween is the greatest horror movie of all time. They said they thought it was The Thing. You may be right. I love Halloween, but The Thing creeped me out way more than Halloween did. That chair scene where they're testing for the tainted blood sample, oh my God. I'm surprised I don't keep a flamethrower under my bed just in case after watching that scene.